I don't get into the team as much as you two, but that feels like a bit much to me. All of a sudden, rags to riches. Red Sox from being in the dumps. They make some signings like Alex Bregman this offseason, still have major question marks specifically in their bullpen and who's going to be their closer, and all of a sudden they're beating the Arizona Diamondbacks in 6 games in the World Series? What? That felt a bit much. Come on, Jared. Jesus.
So, Murray, I'm glad you said it and I didn't. Not to sound like Gerard Mayo, but you said it, I didn't. Look, why does it always have to be like this? Why does it have to be, yeah, we're going to come out, we're going to win it all? Why can't you just say it's a good place to start? Your team is better. You've added Crochet. You've added Bregman. And again, look, this one I feel compelled to say because I was talking to Jimmy Stewart about it earlier. I like Bregman as a player. He's not really the kind of guy that you bat clean up and build a lineup around. He's really more at the very top. And I like Bregman. I like him a lot. He's more akin to Dustin Pedroia as a player than he is, say, Alex Rodriguez or someone like that. So they're better. They should be in it. But I was looking at one of the, predictions for all of baseball today, and it said, who are the best teams in baseball? First of all, 4 out of the top 5 are in the National League, okay? Or 3 out of the top 4, whatever it was. The Dodgers, the Mets, the Braves, the Phillies. Okay, so I think it was 4 out of 5 now that I think about it. So the American League is weak. Beyond that, they had the Red Sox 4th in the American League. And the teams in front of them were the Yankees, the Orioles.
Cleveland.
And no, it wasn't Cleveland. It was
Kansas City.
No, I'm drawing.
Seattle.
No, I'm drawing a blank. I'll get to it. But
the White Sox.
Definitely not them.
But in any case, it was the Astros. I'm sorry, it was the Astros. So I look at that and I say, okay, I think that's about right. They might finish 3rd in the division. I wouldn't rule that out. Baltimore's lineup is stacked. And the Yankees have all kinds of pitching problems, and major ones. So I would tell you that I like where the Red Sox are relative to the Yankees now more than I did, at the beginning of camp.
Pitching issues and old in their lineup too. Like if you could, I'm not going to argue back if you think the Red Sox could win the AL East. I think the Orioles are probably better and they'll probably win it. But if you want to make a case for the Red Sox, I'm not going to argue on that. But going to the World Series, can you make the playoffs first? How about that?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel about it anyway.
They're capable of winning the World Series. They're capable of winning the American League pennant.
No. Freudian slip by McKay.
No, Matt, you had it right. They're capable of winning the World Series.
I don't want to go that far, Jimmy. I'm feeling good. I've got Mazz trying to kill my buzz today. Baseball hours returning. First time in 5 years I actually feel good about the Red Sox. And here comes Mazz trying to crap all over it. Here's what I'll say. They are capable of winning the pennant. I'm not predicting that they will win the pennant because I don't think they know how to win yet.
Coward.
Thank you, Jimmy. You're right. It is a cowardice take to say the Red Sox can only win the American League pennant.
Coward.
They've got a bunch of young guys who don't know how to win, and that will show up in October. They need to grow at this point. But is there anything really to separate them between the Orioles, the Yankees, the Rangers, the Astros, the rest of the American League? If you want to make an argument for the Red Sox, you're making the argument because of the competition, and the competition isn't good enough. They are just as good, in my opinion, as any of those other teams. And I think what will ultimately hold them back in October is they just haven't been there. But let's be honest, that's a step forward. This is the first time in a long time I can say this team is actually good enough to be a playoff team. So you should be excited.
Yeah, people should be jacked up about them. I mean, they should be a fun team. They should be a playoff team. But and I get it. Major League Baseball for the last 15 years or so, it is kind of get hot at the right time, get in. You can make a deep run. Like the aforementioned Diamondbacks that Jared has in the World Series again. No one saw them making the World Series a few years ago. They did. But it's been so long since they've been in the postseason. Just be happy with that if they get there.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah.
Right? One step at a time. So, look, if they don't make the playoffs, I would say massive fail. They didn't do all this to miss the playoffs. And, frankly, it's not that tough anymore. You win 87 games, you should be able to get in with that extra wild card spot. That's not a stretch. The back end of the bullpen's a concern. Let's see how it all goes in terms of the rotation depth. And at the front end of the rotation, We all like Crochet. Let's see how Bueller holds up. Let's see if Tanner Houck can bounce back and have a second good year in a row. And I say bounce back because he had a garbage spring.
And then there's the Devers thing. Like,
Right.
What is he going to be?
I mean, there's a lot to look at, Murray. If you want to find problems, and we do, there are plenty to always pick at. So now look, again, am I happy that they're better and that they're now worth talking about? Of course.
Sounds it.
Well, for those that haven't heard the promo for the baseball hour, like you say in it, they might not suck this year.
So, and I'll tell you that typically Jared Carabas, I think, is going to join us on Wednesday nights. Jimmy, is that the plan?
During the season, yes.
Okay, and he was the original plan was for him to be with us tonight, but because he's got bigger fish to fry, he's on the road and busy, frankly. So he's going to be on the road for opening day, not with the Red Sox, oddly enough. But we'll have Jared in on a regular basis. McCarthy's going to fill in for him tonight, and we'll crank it all up at 6 o'clock.
Don't forget about the Mill Missile on Friday, Tyler Milliken.
That's right. Milliken will be on the Roundtable Fridays. The roundtables, which I am hoping to actually attend this
Yeah, I was
year.
going to say.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Get in on them now for the next 5 weeks, because after that, poof, like a magician, Maz disappears.
I'm shocked you're here tonight, Naz.
Same.
Chris in Medford with the Red Sox.
Once the summer of Maz begins, I'm out.
Yeah, let's squeeze this in. Go ahead, Chris.
We know.
Hey, so I'm a bit of a young baseball fan. I'm only 26, but not too long ago, I remember getting jacked up for opening day because there was national games on it. There was a 12 o'clock game, a 2:30, a 7, a late game. That first pitch was 10:10. Today we got 2 interleague games, one at 3:30, one at 7. What has happened to the buzz that opening day used to come with? And then I just wanted to get your thoughts. What are they going to do? Because this ESPN contract is up, and they're not going to renew after the season. So where is nationally televised baseball going to go after the season? Thanks, boys.
It's a good question. I mean, ESPN being out of business with Major League Baseball is definitely taking a hit. It's like they pay zero attention to it now and will going forward, I would think.
No, massive hit. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's bad for the sport. I read today they're considering selling the home run derby individually to maybe Netflix or Fox or something like that, and then trying to figure out who their national partner will be for Sunday Night Baseball. But it's not good. There's no doubt. And by the way, the caller's totally right about tomorrow. The way they have these games scheduled, you have 2 games at 3 o'clock, just about everything at 4 o'clock, and then you have 2 games at 10 o'clock. Everybody plays at the same time. This should be staggered like March Madness.
Right.
How the hell? Of course, baseball can't figure it out. They should be starting those games at noon. I was going to have people over the house. It was going to be a good time. Nope. Every game starts at 4 o'clock, and then we're done basically at 7. You got one window of baseball tomorrow. Screw that.
Yeah, it's just not what it used to be. It's not. And so, and I don't know that it ever will be. I don't know that we're going back to that. Do you remember years ago that it used to be that the first pitch of the season always was thrown in Cincinnati?
Yes.
Do you remember that, Mark?
Yeah.
So, that was sort of a thing that would trigger the start of the season. And now it just feels like, any other league starting opening night except for the NFL. The NFL opening day has a certain feel to it. All the others don't. And I think baseball's now in that other group.
Jay Stu, you got new fighting Franconas this time around. You got yourself any Reds gear yet?
I'm working on it. I'm
Okay.
working on it. But the Reds, I don't see the Reds as doing anything beyond making the playoffs with Francona. But, we're not here to talk about the Cincinnati baseball team. We're here to talk about the Red Sox and the Boston Red Sox not only making the World Series, but winning the World Series. And I'll also tell you this. Bregman will get MVP votes this year. Mark my words.
You don't really believe that, Stu.
Oh, I actually do, and I put my money where my mouth is.